This guy next to Darnell Wright, woo, that's pure TNT, folks. But let's get it cracking. Yo, 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 no maniacs, super no maniacs, and all in between. Welcome to another edition of Feed the Bears. Well, I do my job to feed you, the Bears. All the content that I can give you, man, and we're going to talk about some more of these college players. And right now, this is one of my favorite ones. You know, we're talking about Miles Frazier from LSU, 6 foot. Now, on the screen, it says 6'5", 324 pounds, but I think he's more like 6'6", 335 pounds in my opinion. Just looking at him on film, you can go take a look at him and you tell me. I think he's every bit of 330, 335 pounds and a little bit taller than what it says. But, you look at different, websites, they have him listed different. That's going to happen. But he will be down there at the combine. And while Poles and Ben Johnson are down there, I'm telling you, it's going to be teams and GMs and coaches going to be salivating over this cat. I mean, absolutely salivating over him. Because when I think about a blue chip offensive lineman, and whether it be guard, tackle, center, whatever it is, this guy is going to have certain traits, man. To me, I think you have to be physically dominant at the point of an attack, no matter what the competition is. I think some of the characteristics, trait wise, pass sets, run sets, you need to be equally as effective in either one of those categories, and this guy is. I know it's a lot of talk about, Tyler Booker, and I like his film. I like Tyler Booker. I think he's going to be a damn good offensive guard, but I think this guy's better than them all, and he's versatile as well. So you'll see, if you turn on some tape, you will see right away he can, whether you look at highlights or full games or condensed games, it doesn't really matter. At some point, if you look enough and you watch enough, you'll find him at right guard. At times, you'll find him at right tackle. And so he's versatile like that. So that adds another dimension to his value. And so this kid right here, you talking about a tone setter, man. I mean, the explosiveness for a guy this big out of his stance. I mean, this guy he fires off in his stance in the run game and just buries dudes. Just buries them. And his aiming point is always seemingly perfect. You never really see him getting whiffed. You never really see a whole lot of that. What he aims at, he hits. And when he hits, he moves. And so you think about the conversations about, spending 20, 22 million or beyond on an offensive guard. And I look at this draft class and I still have a hard time wrapping my mind around it. It's like, I just don't see the Chicago Bears spending 20-something million on a guard with this draft class. You keep seeing time and time again Ryan Poles go to the podium and he's talking about, he loves how this thing is set up in free agency and the draft in regards to their needs. And knowing that these guys like this, Miles Frazier, are there versus what you're able to do or willing to do in free agency, you have to really, I think people should really temper their expectations. In my opinion, that's just my opinion about it, about what they're going to do in free agency, because when you see players like this, all it does is help you, be mindful about how much money you're really spending. I mean, you can really load up on some interior line talent if you don't spend $20+ million on a guard. I mean, that's just logical sense to me, but I understand why people would love to see Trey Smith here in Chicago. I get that. I'm not against anybody who feels that way. I just have a different way of thinking about it. So let me go down the list of things. So he transferred from, I think he got to LSU in 2022. Immediately became a starter. He was at Florida International, I believe it was. Yeah, Florida International before transferring to LSU, where he was the All-American there. He was the pretty much the spearhead of the offense there, and they had a game where they rushed for, I think, 317 yards in a game. But that's just one little. He earned All-American honors when he was there at Florida International in 2021. He played in 2023. He started all games at guard, 13 games straight. Led LSU in scoring, led the nation in scoring that year. This is the year they had Jalen Daniels as a quarterback, 45.5 points a game, total offense 543 yards. Quarterback Jaden Daniels won the Heisman that year, and the offensive line was a finalist. That offensive line was a finalist for the Joe Moore Offensive Line of the Year award. I mean, he's just a standout. I mean, you look at a lot of tape if you're me, and again, some stuff you just wait for it to really show itself, and it just doesn't take long when you turn on this guy's tape to know exactly what you're looking at. I mean, it is absolute dominance. Absolute dominance. And when I start imagining and having fantasies about what this offensive line can be in Chicago, if you get the right players, I can imagine this guy with his athleticism. That's the one thing I haven't spoken on so far. His athleticism is unique for a kid this big. And we all know how athletic Darnell Wright is and how I think Ben Johnson is going to really formulate what they do offensively as far as running the ball at their dominant pieces. And I think the dominant piece on the offensive line is you heard him also mention Penei Sewell when he was talking about Darnell Wright and how they featured Penei Sewell. And I mentioned that on a show a couple of months ago, how they really baseline everything they do offensively around how Penei Sewell can attack on offense down the field. They really get him downfield, get him blocking downfield, using that speed and athleticism, that agility, and make things happen. You know what I mean? And so you imagine, so we already have that piece here in Darnell Wright. You imagine putting an equal or even better physical athlete next to him and what you can do on the right side of that line without having to spend $20 million in free agency. I'm telling you guys, take some time to look at this kid's tape. Please take some time to look at this kid's tape. I guarantee you, anybody that really objectively looks at this and looks at this kid's tape and takes a little bit of time to do it, I don't know how anybody could logically come back and say, hey, I think we should spend $22 million on a guard. I just don't see it. I'm not saying that they won't. And there's that world out there that he spends exactly that amount of money for one guy to, change the dynamic of the room, I guess. There's absolutely that can happen. But to me, I think when you do stuff like that, you got to remember, Trey Smith was drafted in the 5th or 6th round. You just gotta believe in your ability to be able to develop. You bring the right coaches in here, bring the right players in here for them to coach and believe in what they can do to develop. If you believe that 110% in your heart that you brought the right people in the building to develop, there's no way in the world you're spending $20-something million on a guard that got drafted in the 5th round, 6th round. There's no way, because you know that Trey Smith is sitting out there waiting for you to draft and develop. To me, it's really an indictment on Ryan Poles if he doesn't trust what he just brought into the building as far as these coaches go to be able to draft and develop a player. Really, that is really the true indictment when it comes to the offensive line thus far. It's the inability to develop guys in the way that I think they should have been. Not there at practice every day, don't know really exactly what's going on at all times. So, you have that. And so my criticism is for an offensive lineman GM, I haven't seen the results that I've been looking for since he got here. And I think it's a lot of people out here that feel the same way about that. There's a simple, pimple, proven way to build your roster and build a great team. And really the draft is really the only surefire way to do that. There's other ways you can do it via free agency and spending all your cap space to get other people's talent. There's that. But that's not a way to sustain it. If you do that once, you do that twice, you're going to continue to have to do that. And over the years, you're just going to find yourself in salary cap hell. So it'll be a Super Bowl, and then 6-7 years later, maybe we're getting another chance to have a shot at a Super Bowl. That's kind of how that works. They just completely tear down your salary cap structure. If you build the team through free agency, man, you just have to trust in your ability to be able to spot talent, evaluate it, bring it in here and develop it. And it's just that simple. It's not a microwave fix to what we need done on the offensive line out there. You have to really trust your scouts, that talent personnel, and your coaches to be able to identify these guys. And this is just a blue chip talent. No other way around it. When you feast your eyes on him and how he plays, and the tone and the tempo that he plays with, and how forceful he is in both the pass sets and particularly in the run game, this is exactly what you're looking for, Chicago. This is exactly what you're looking for. You just beefed up your offensive line in a significant way. If you land Miles Frazier sometime wherever he's supposed to be drafted, I have no idea where they're projecting him, but I know this is, to me, the best offensive guard I've seen in this draft class. I will say that. And I like Tyler Booker, but I think this guy is more dynamic and even better. So that's my take on Miles Frazier. I had to get this out here. Don't forget, man, we got a show tonight, some extra sauce. Here's a promo. Don't forget that that's 8 p.m. Central tonight. And for all the people that want to come in and chime in on, the conversations that we have, and you're not a subscriber, all you got to do is hit the subscribe button and join the community, man. It's real easy. Please, you guys, hit the subscribe button. I appreciate all the new subscribers. I'm going to keep coming with the content. It's just going to get better and better, but we need you guys to support as much as we can get it. So hit that subscribe button if you want to see this daily content and you approve of it and you appreciate the work we're putting in. Just hit that subscribe button, and that's all the thank you we need, man. So we appreciate you guys for that. But let me end this by saying this: if you can think it and you can see it, there's no reason in the world why you cannot absolutely manifest it. Do not, and I repeat, do not be a prisoner of your own mind. But with that being said, I am out.